Good morning, Jennifer Pippa. Welcome to the Valder Beebe Show. I want my audience to know Jennifer Pippa is the Vice President of Disaster Programs for the American Red Cross. Jennifer, thank you so much for being here because I wanted to talk about 2023. We're wrapping it up. And according to my notes, it says it will go down in the record books as having the greatest number of billion-dollar disaster in America. Could you just a little bit expound on that for me?
Absolutely. So this year we will close the books most likely at $25 billion disasters. That is a record, one in which we do not want to have. And what we're seeing is more storms, more frequent and at higher intensities that are impacting communities and displacing folks from their homes for extended periods of time. As an organization, we are now in almost a near continuous state of response for disaster relief.
What impact if people are getting displaced from their homes like the California wildfires, what happened in Hawaii? The Red Cross is on the scene. But what impact is this having on the families?
You know, this is heart-wrenching for these families who have all of a sudden found themselves without a home to return to. And they look to the American Red Cross to provide that comfort and care. Right now alone, we have more than 6,600 folks that we are taking care of in Maui, and we still have folks that we're taking care of from Hurricane Idalia in Florida. So these are not only large-scale disasters, but they are long-term disasters. These folks do not have homes that they can return to, and finding a safe place to stay after a disaster is becoming a very, very critical need for these communities.
I don't know if the Red Cross budget is looking at we are going to take care of these people for quite a while. Usually, you guys are a response team, if I'm correct. So with more people dealing with these extreme disasters, how are you as an emergency response provider coping with the challenge?
So what we're seeing is that our responses are taking longer and longer. In fact, we still have folks that we are taking care of from March tornadoes in Mississippi. That really changes the dynamic of a disaster relief operation and our organization overall. So we acknowledge that this is kind of our new normal moving forward. It means that we need to increase our volunteer capacity. We need to have volunteers ready to go at a moment's notice for much, much longer periods of time. And we need to make sure that we are well funded so that we can continue to provide compassion and care to these families, even 7, 8, 12 months after a disaster has happened.
Okay, we're going to talk about two things just a little bit out. First, I'll ask you about supporting these families long term. Are you guys able to do this? And then your volunteers, where do you want them to come from?
So we are absolutely able to support these families. We rely on the generosity of the American public, and we try and keep them informed that these are long-term disasters, that just because they've fallen out of the news cycle doesn't mean that these families don't still need help. In order to do that, we have to increase our volunteer capacity. That means volunteers across the entire nation who raise their hand and are willing to help, because disasters don't just happen on the coast anymore. And our most frequent disaster that we respond to are single-family house fires. So you don't even have to, as a volunteer for our organization, get on a plane and deploy. There are neighbors in your community that need Red Cross help, and you as a volunteer can absolutely help them in their greatest time of need.
Those people who are enjoying the holidays, getting ready, and have something to contribute, how do they get started? Where do they find their information to help the Red Cross?
There are 3 really easy ways for you to support the American Red Cross and the mission that we deliver. The first is you can open your checkbook and provide a financial donation. No gift is too small, because when a family has lost everything, every single dollar counts. The second way is you can roll up your sleeve and donate blood. During the holiday season, people travel, regular blood donors are out and about, and they don't always think about donating blood. It is a near constant need, and we support almost 40% of the nation's blood supply. And then the third is raise your hand and volunteer. You can go to your local chapter, just go to redcross.org, and you can find a place where you can volunteer and be trained. And that means you could help your local community Or if you want to, we can deploy you out to other large-scale disaster relief operations and help fulfill that need and that compassion. We know folks see these families on the TV and they hear about them on radio shows and they want to help, and we want to provide ways to make that happen.
Pippa, I'm going to let you go, so this will be my last question. I was looking over your resume. You have served the Red Cross in different states, different positions. What are you seeing that people are suffering most from? We know they need money. What are you seeing, though, from the human aspect?
You know, when I go out to see families after a disaster, whether it's a single family home fire or whether something devastating is like the Maui wildfires, you know, what people want is to be seen and to be heard and to feel cared for. And that's an incredibly easy thing for us to be able to do as an organization, to be that kind, compassionate heart and be there to let those families know that even after, you know, the major media outlets have left, that we're still there, that we still see them, and that we are still there taking care of them until they can continue their recovery journey.
It has been my pleasure to host Jennifer Pippa, Vice President of Disaster Programs for the American Red Cross. Jennifer, thank you so very much for stopping by the Valder Beebe Show and making us better citizens. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hosted the Valder Beebe Show. We have over 1,000 videos on ValderBeebeShow.com and YouTube.com/ValderBeebeShow. We upload new videos daily. Our site is a modern baby boomer platform with news and information important to boomers. Subscribe to YouTube.com/ValderBeebeShow and stay connected as I interview the world's most fascinating people.